this video, we're going to be taking a look at how we can create a ground plane and create some different shapes for some different stones for the future for this. So again, we're just proxying this thing out and trying to get a pattern kind of established for what it is that we're going to build. So everything is actually shown for this, so you can see the ground. I've got this in the geo and template area. I actually put this cannon new. The last cannon that we built is sitting in here, and you can see it's visible currently right now. Here's the old cannon template that we had, just hid that. So if you go to display and you can go to show or hide, you can hide selection or you can show selection right in through here, and you can see the hotkeys for that stuff. So just took the ground and unhid that right there. And it's still on this template, this geo template layer, so you can turn that on and off. And we can always go and put the time slider back so we can get the camera view to match up to what we've got for our reference that we've got here. Okay, so let's go ahead and take a look at if we go and say create polygon primitives and we do a plane. We'll just do the option box for this. Let's go ahead and say edit reset settings, and it'll make a width and a height of 1 by 1 with divisions of 10 by 10. Let's just hit apply for that, and you can see that it'll throw this on the 0, like if we turn on the grid and take a look at that, it's going to put it at the 0, 0 origin part of that. It's not very big, obviously, so we'll scale that up. Remember, if we put our fingers on Q, W, E, and R, then we can get to the pick, and we can do translate, rotate, and scale pretty quickly with those different things. So I'm going to tap R, and we'll scale this thing up. So you can see if I scale it through the middle square, it's going to do a uniform scale, and I can scale it up to, let's just do, I think 300 is some number. Let's go to the top view. So if I tap the space bar and go to the top and scale this out just a little bit more, let's see what we did, maybe 310. So I don't think this number is like super critical. So I've got something like that for this value. Now I took this, and if I move this thing down, looks like I moved it down right around in here, so maybe -3, right in that area. And I don't think this is like super crucial. Now I do believe these squares that I've made here, those actually sit, the top of them sit on the 0, 0 mark on there. So let's just take a look at and see what I call this. So I call this floor plane. I'll just copy that. I'll paste it on here. You could actually give it a name called floor plane for yourself, like that. And then after that's done, we'll turn the grid off for now just to make this a little bit easier to kind of see. And just went through and said create polygon primitives. We'll do a cube. We could reset the settings if we want for that. Hit apply, and you can see we could make the first slab here. So if we scale this thing out, let's just scale it out this direction, right around there, and scale it out this way. Let's go to about here. Let's see, right about there. So we can make this a whole number of 40, and then this is 80, and then let's see if we do a thickness of about 4. And then if we move this down right to about there, -2. That will give us like the scale of one of these slabs, and if we just duplicate that, if you remember how to duplicate, you can hit Control D. But before we do that, we can make a group. I'm just going to hit Control G, and then we can copy this name, floor slabs. I'm going to paste it on here like that, and open this up, and we'll see if I gave these guys a name. No, I didn't. So I'll just copy the name from this, and I'll call this floor slab underscore 001, like that. Now if I duplicate this thing and I hit Control D and I move it right here like this, I can put this at a number of 84. Let's try 85. Yep, something like that. So because I had the name floor slab underscore 001 and I duplicated it, it's gonna just change that number to 02. So that's kind of cool. So I'll duplicate this thing, and if I move it back, I should be able to do -85 at that point, like that. If I take the floor slab 1 and duplicate it, and then move it over here. Let's see how far I'd have to move it over. So that's -45, like that. And let's see if I move it back here where I should be -40. Oops, right here, -40, like that. And I'll duplicate it and move this thing forward. And that should be a positive. That's 45 for that. So now I can just duplicate these two. So I'm going to select this and duplicate them, and then just move them over like this and make that 45 like that. And then I can take either one of these. I'll just take the last one here, duplicate it, and then move it over. We'll do 90 like that, and then this should be set to 0 on Z. So I can duplicate that one and then move it over right here, -90, like that. So I've got all the different things that I need for the floor slab and the floor plane, and if I group these things together, Control G, and call this ground _ new, that will give me everything that we need for this template. So I can just move this up. I'll move it, middle mouse drag it above the old ground. I can close this one up. I can hide that, Control H, like that. And I'll put the new one, I'll just middle mouse drag it down below ground. So we've got the old ground and the ground new. We've got the old cannon and the new cannon, just like that. And move the time slider back. And so that's how we can create this template for the floor. So pretty easy to do that. And now you've got everything set up for the floor. In the next video, we'll be taking a look at how we can set up some templates for some grass and some other types of vegetation.